January was a really long year, so here's everything I read to get me through it. In the month of January, I finished 5 books, which totaled to be 2,566 pages, which meant that I read about an average of 80 pages a day. To start off January, I read through the Powerless series, Powerless and Reckless. Basically, they're in this Hunger Games-esque situation. There's yearning, forbidden love, treachery. A lot is happening. It felt like I was reading The Hunger Games, but in a different timeline. I read one biography, which is The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. It has been so refreshing to hear her side of the story, hear what she lived through, and what made it even more impactful is that she really focused on her story and not everyone else's story. She bipped and bopped and weaved certain details that pertained to all of them if she was involved, but she really left it open to if her siblings wanted to talk about it one day, it would be their story that they talked about, and she didn't talk on behalf of them, which I really appreciated. On to the rest of my reads this month. Dove into the Quicksilver book. I decided to read it after hearing rave reviews and a bunch of hoopla on it here on Book Talk, and so it is following Sarish and Kingfisher, which the name gave me an ick, but we moved past it. There's a queen, she sucks. Turns out she super sucks at the end of this book. It's great. I liked it at the time. I think I rated it like a 4.75 on Fable. I can't really think too much about the plot, but I did know that when I was reading it, I liked it. So that's all that matters, and that's all we're getting into with that book. Moving on to the last book of my January reads, I read Onyx Storm. Violet and Xaden annoyed me to no end in this book, and Xaden really annoyed me at the end of the book. I did not like it. I did rate it a 4 stars. But now that I've sat with it, it kind of put me in a reading slump, and I didn't like it for the hype that I had around it, especially after loving the first 2 books. So that's it. Hopefully you have some books to add to the TBR, and if you've read any of these books and you're like, bruh, how did you rate these so high? Leave me alone. And if you walk away from anything in this video, read The House of My Mother by Sherry Frankie. That's it. That's the TikTok.